Consider this, if you would. It's just a thought. Occurred to me today, and I thought I would come down and jot down my thought for your consideration. Laws, principles, truths, rules. This is what really defines our reality, defines our existence. We have these because this basically sets the complete construct of your and mine reality. Now, when you think about laws, there's all kinds of laws. Laws of the land, laws to get in. Universal laws. I thought this one was pretty spot on. Law of divine oneness, law of vibration, law of action, law of correspondence, law of cause and effect, law of compensation, law of attraction, law of perpetual of transmutation of energy, law of relativity, law of polarity, law of rhythm, law of gender. Okay. When we're born, the very first thing, as we recover from the rite of birth passage, the thing we begin to immediately comprehend is that there are rules. Now, even when we're first entering in to this physical reality, we're learning right from the get-go. There are rules. Many times we don't like those rules. They're foreign to us. It doesn't seem natural. Then the other thing, as we go through the path of life, we begin to put on principles. We begin to develop rules or beliefs of governing our own behavior. Now, we're taught these rules from our parents, our siblings, our schools. It just goes through life. And it could be said that some never acquire principle. Some acquire some principles. But we all know that this is really kind of the regulator that you learn to set within yourself. Now, this is the confusing one, reality and truth. Because so often, what reality seems to be is opposite of what the truth is saying. What we're taught about truth ends up in reality to be the opposite. And then this causes cognitive dissonance to set in, and it has its own set of challenges determining really which is which. So when we talk about laws, there's all kinds of laws again. A law in England will not work in Iran. It just is not going to happen. These are, two different universes, two different directions, two different, how should we say, realities. And there's a principle here as I was thinking about this. Okay, so laws, principles, truths, rules only apply and work within a location and is bound by authority, which is only valid within that location of space, that realm, that reality. Think about this. Laws, principles, truths, rules, they only apply and work within the location. Now, you could say that that would be a universe, a planet, a nation, a city, an organization. And that is what it is bound by. And that authority, by default, is only valid within that location of that space. that realm, that reality. That which is spirit is spirit. That which is physical is physical. Two separate realms, two separate realities, two separate laws, two separate principles, two set of rules, two sets of different truths. It has to be. One does not rule over the other. To say that one does, it is impossible. How can you mix something that is not of the thing for which you're saying it dominates? How can the spirit rule over the physical? How can the physical rule over the spirit? Two separate realities, two separate laws, two separate principles, two separate rules, two separate truths. And if you want to argue with me, fine. State your argument. But you explain to me, how do you know what the spirit realm is? I defy you to tell me you have personally experienced it, because that would mean technically you are dead. The spirit realm cannot rule in physical reality, in this universe. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. Obviously, we all hope it does. And I believe that there's enough evidence to point that there is something beyond this life. But no matter how you slice it and dice it, folks, it's still nothing more than a thought. None of us have experienced it. The one thing we do have in common is that we've all passed the rite of initiation of birth. Now, people get really messed up here because they begin to think that somehow that which is not of flesh, that which is not of the physical matter of this reality, this realm of consciousness, that somehow the spirit realm has superiority. It does not. It cannot. What is your basis for saying that that which is the unseen has somehow superiority over that of the physical realm of reality? It's impossible. Cannot and will not ever be. There is one path that would make this that exception. And that is for an energy, life form, spirit, you, me. Both realms would have to be experienced. Both have rites of initiation. And if they are achieved on both counts, then you would have an argument for superiority over both. Just a thought.